I mean, like I say, for the most part, I don't. That's why I say I don't really care because I'm LS Lucifer Star or Lucifer White Star. I built all the cars. I built all the. I designed all the cars. I built all the cars. I did everything. I did all the races. That was my rocket ship that launched. It was my team, my German team, that they shot inside the launch control room. It was my this, my that. I mean, I launched, I was the one who wanted to do the Apollo missions. And realistically, I had the rockets way long. I was the one with the rockets. And like I said, already had the Cosmos space station in orbit. And it had actually been in orbit for quite some time, since like 1800 or something like that, or 1900, some year, 1920 maybe. I think when they launched, I think they launched it somewhere around 1920. I'm not exactly sure when they launched it, but they launched the Cosmos, and from Kansas or whatever. They were going to name the town Cosmos because it all happened there with that one town with the road with the white line going down the middle. So because it was my first idea for the road, because the cars were only like 5 feet wide or something like that, or 4 feet wide, and realistically it was buggies and horses at first, and like two-person carriages or two-person wagons basically. Because they were older and most people could only afford like wagons or stuff like that, so we made a lot of those because they were easy to make, and oil or grease, for the wheels. And as long as you go only 5 miles an hour or 6 miles an hour, the wood and grease and metal, because it's like a metal ring or a metal ring, a piece of wood. I think it's the wheel has a metal ring around it, and then the piece of wood, and then as long as you put some grease in there and you don't go very fast, it actually works pretty good as just a bearing. So we could produce those pretty cheaply, cheaper than a car. And with a horse, you could just, with like a brass fitting or something like that, or some sort of wear thing, you could actually get some pretty good mileage out of just those two little pieces. They actually work really good as just as just a friction bearing or whatever. So actually work pretty good. And wood versus metal actually wears not reasonably well, not that well. I mean, it wears out pretty quick. I forget. No, maybe the axle. That's right. The axle has the steel on it, and the wood. I don't forget. I think we tried it both ways, but anyway. So the wagons were only like 4 feet wide, so fairly easy to make and fairly cheap, and one horse could easily pull it. So, or two horses or whatever. Yeah, one horse design. I guess one horse would have labored a little hard, and then two horses actually did a lot better. Yeah, two horses in one little wagon. Horses that can't really pull all that hard, really. Anyway, but basically, I had all the money for all that stuff, so I did everything I wanted to do. I did the Mirage Dam. I paid for all the movies to be made, and Rasputin just got in the way. Like I said, Rasputin was involved in the Mirage Dam. Like towards the end there, he was hunting for the gold, the gold. And well, I mean, everybody heard about the gold, all the gold that was coming from the Mirage Dam, and that's why we also called it the Mirage, because it's like, where's the gold mine? There is no gold mine. It's from the actual granite rock that we're mining, and we're using basically the smelting idea of pretty much what is employed in the stars, like in a way is like my mini star. That's why that's also where the star got because it was a star foundry. I think they might have called it the star foundry because it uses temperatures near as much as the sun. So not really. I mean, the sun's at millions of degrees, or billions of degrees, whereas that one's just at like a few thousand, 50,000, maybe at most, or something like that. I don't think it was all that hot. Pretty hot, but hot enough to recombine gold. But that's how you get it, is in the fusion reactors and the really high temperatures. I've done a lot of things though. A lot of different ways, a lot of fun ways, like crashing rocks together and doing this and doing that. There's a lot of ways to make matter and increase matter. And so there's a lot of fun ways you can do stuff. Like, woo, let's crash some rocks, and space and stuff, and just playing around, I played around a lot more with my insectoid or exoskeleton life forms. My exoskeleton life forms to me, because they would do whatever I asked. They would be like, yeah, sure, let's do it. They didn't say, yeah, sure, let's do it. They just said, yeah, they didn't really say anything. We just went and did it. It was like they did whatever I asked or whatever I wanted. So, and we were just happy little guys together. So anyway, billions of years of messing around, playing together, building. You know, I could build whatever I wanted. So anyway, so I designed them, and and some people used or copied my ideas or my designs of my exoskeletons, but they were never really as advanced as me because I had such a high. I had a billion or trillion year running head start on everyone because I designed. I mean, I was the first, and everything that came after was just people doing basically on the same lines that I had. And so, like, I was just like messing around, you know. It's like, what else am I gonna do? Die? Like, I had been in existence for already 15 billion trillion years. So I was just like, I always lied about my age. I was like, I'm only 4,000. I'm only 4 years old. 4,000 years old. And people would think I was only 4,000 years old, which is a lot, but still, it's not 4 billion years old, which is a little closer to the truth. And some people said, I think a 4 billion years old is probably more closer to the truth of your age. I said, yeah, probably. It was cuter when I was a child. Like, when I was a little child. Because, because I knew I was lying. Anyway, or at least I did once and then I forgot. But it doesn't matter how old you are. It matters how much fun you're having. And I was always having a lot of fun, just messing around, leading my life forms. Like I said, I love my life forms. I love life forms. I wish that was my biggest regret is that I couldn't just hold more women or people and just say I love you. They're so beautiful, every single one of them, and wonderful. And little babies are wonderful, just to snuggle them. And I always wanted to have children of my own, so I never got that chance, other than the life forms I created. So I never got to look in my daughter's eyes and just hold her and read her. Like I always, one of my dreams was to hold my daughter and read her bedtime stories and have her look at me with those eyes that said, "I love you, Dad." And I mean, I kind of got that. One of my life forms. There was this blonde girl once, and she stuck around for a long time, and I could see her in the pictures. I'd see her picture, and she'd be smiling there. And she was even black one time. She was like blonde haired, and she was black, and she was just like, like smiling because she was black, and she was like, I was like, you were white. Anyway, but I mean, she lived for thousands of years, and so. And she was the one that I had talked to, and she was the one who had asked me for a favor to come and help out. And I was like, okay, because she wanted to create Starfleet. She's like, well, I want to do this project, and someone said to go talk to someone that was old, and so I looked up old people or older life forms, and your name was at the top. So I was like, oh. And later on, she told me, actually, I heard it from you, and I was like, oh. Anyway, I was somewhere else in space and with another race, and just was basically just chilling there in hibernation mode, and she found me and she's like, oh, well, you're with the Borg, and she was like, I didn't realize I was making that long distance of a call. Apparently she was somewhere and like on Earth or something, and she had called someone, and they had put me right through to they had put her right through to the Borg home world, all the way out at the edge of space. Like at the very edge of space, there's the Borg home world, and I was just kicking on it, well fortified within the Borg home planet. And she said, I didn't realize that we were calling the Borg home world, because I was like, well, I'll be right there. So I just said, I need a ship. And they're like, compliance. Or they didn't say compliance, but they said yes. And I just, because I could do whatever I wanted. So we took off. Me and a couple of cubes or something like that. I don't really remember. It was a long time ago. And the next thing you know, I was talking to her, and I was like, yes, hello. She's like, hi. It's like, hello, you'll be, and I said, you'll be perfectly safe here. Don't worry, they listened to me. And she was. We inspected her, of course. And she said, I was ready for an inspection, so. It's like, yes, okay. Anyway, this happened billions or trillions of years ago. So anyway, and most people would say, you're crazy.